So that hike was over a year ago. Funny enough though, I just got around to editing it. I've been trying to edit that video for quite some time. Kind of a personal thing for me for many reasons, which I don't know that I'll divulge those at this time. But it's a great hike and I highly recommend it. Before we began the hike, what we did is we had to go out. We went to this lovely place called Habitat, and boy, I thought it was really good. It's kind of an interesting place because they just prepare your food right then and there. It's really fresh, and oh yeah, JP was on the keto diet, so he ordered the bunless version, or the normal one. Here we are in my old Santa Fe. Then we went into the parking lot, really nice. And that's the start of the hike, just a little bit of pavement, and within moments you're walking along this creek, or creek, however you want to say it, and it's just gorgeous. It says 1.5 miles. That really depends on how you're going to hike, and to be honest, it also depends how fast you're going to hike, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And then, yeah, it's mostly dirt, but there are some jagged rocks. There's just JP catching a breather. A lot of gorgeous trees, a lot of pine trees, a lot of signs, although you do have to pay attention because some of the signs aren't that obvious. When we were crossing right here, we didn't quite know where the trail connected.
We are going to find these falls if it kills us.
Now again, this was a year ago, so hopefully now the signage has improved.
So we were up there, and then the trail just ended, so from what we can tell, the trail goes that way. So that was about 200 feet. So that trail does just end, and you have to hike down a cliff. And there's the falls. We're at 1.7 miles.
Awesome footage of the river. Really funny signs, but they're true. It's a very dangerous hike, and don't do it unless you're brave.
So we hiked about another 100 yards. And there's the falls.
Yeah, as you can see, these people hiking down, it's really dangerous because the water is running over those rocks and it's really slippery. It was quite precarious hiking on up, as you can see in these still photos, and definitely going to summer. There's no way I'd try this during the winter. But the falls are gorgeous, the scenery is wonderful, and you really can't beat everything you get to see on such a short hike. The elevation, definitely take that into consideration. As you can see on the watches, it's almost 8,000 vertical feet. Not that you're climbing, but that's the altitude you are in. Then here's some more still photos of the waterfalls. Some of these were from the iPhone 12 SE, and some of them were from the iPhone 11 Pro that JP had. Again, this is my trusty Garmin Vivoactive 4, this Darth Vader edition, which I just sold. And this is the Polar Grit X. Both watches track quite well. I'll do a summary of the workout at the very end, and there are chapter shortcuts down below if you want to skip around through the still photos. Hopefully the background music isn't too loud, but some nice canyons, really nice rivers. We found some really beautiful flowers. Actually, JP took these photographs, and just some lovely nature scenery right along the waterfalls. This one was gorgeous, we both thought, with the purple and the yellow. And it's just amazing to see everything that just grows and thrives off a nearby river and waterfalls. And then the opening to the Donut Falls is huge. I mean, if the water was deeper, you could just, jump right through, but no, yeah, don't do that. And then the cave, when you walk in, you'll see that in a minute. It's huge.
All right, here's the view from nearly the top of Donut Falls. 1.79 miles. And 56 flights of stairs. Not bad. So this is why they call it Donut Falls.
I didn't have an Apple Watch at this time, but it is really loud. I mean, the decibel volume of the waterfalls, especially when you get near inside that cavern, is so loud. It's deafening, and it's cold. We went in August, and normally it's pretty warm, but yeah, when you walk in and that spray hits you, and if you're brave enough to go under the water, like we both did, it's cold. And then the weight of the water and the sheer force is quite dramatic when it's pounding on your head. But really cool. No bats, no large spiders of any kind, and I thought the water was just crystal clear. It was gorgeous, as you can see. And it's just beautiful to see what nature does over decades of erosion. Just pounded a hole in this rock, and then, yeah, my hand went numb right there. It was really cold. So right here is the very top of the river pouring down into the Donut Falls. And then here's some lovely still photography by me and JP. Or is it JP and I? By the two hikers, JP and Peter. Here's a quick time lapse of JP navigating the waterfalls. And this is the point when I got brave enough to walk in, so JP used his trusty iPhone 11 Pro, and it took me a second or two, and then I just went all in, and the shock of the water was overwhelming. It was awesome. Those funny yellow socks are compression socks that I'm wearing. And then JP and I went in together, and yeah, it was just fun. I've never been in a cave like that, a cave waterfall. It was really cool to witness. A little selfie from under Donut Falls. I liked how the light caught the water droplets and almost like a freeze frame. Last year and over the last couple of years, I've been really into slow motion photography, so you're welcome to skip ahead, but I just think it's gorgeous. I love the flow and the motion of the water. I'll play some lift operator music to accompany this. So this is the section right above the waterfall.
JP right behind me. So we just hiked up this wall of dirt right over there, and then that's where the donut is. I tried to get closer, but it's kind of slimy, so I'm not gonna risk that. Aw, young love.
So this next part was really dangerous. Yeah, don't try it if you don't have the right gear, especially if you don't have some trekking poles to help stabilize yourself as you're hiking along that narrow cliff. And definitely don't do it in wintertime or if it's too muddy, because you'll just slip right off and fall into the river. You know, it was only 20 or so feet, but you could definitely get hurt. I just love the motion of water. I can't explain it. I love looking at rivers, lakes, oceans, creeks. Just the sound of the water is hypnotic. And here's some more slow motion. This is again probably about 100 feet above Donut Falls. And here's some more music by Lift Operator. Thank you, Zach. And then we just kept on hiking and walking up farther and farther up the canyon pools, and it just keeps on going for a long time. Decided to get some nice little thumbnails of the watches. have a lot of the smartwatch features that Garmin and the Apple Watch do, but overall for tracking workouts, it does a great job. It does track sleep. It just really depends what you want out of your smartwatch. I've had it over a year. Here's another shot of the river flowing into this nice little pool area, which we walked through. So here JP and I are trying to traverse up this really tight rock area to get out of the canyon. Instead of hiking all the way back down over the falls, we didn't want to do that. This part was really dangerous because if you slip, anyway. And then JP followed me and I held the camera and took a couple of shots. That white bandage, he cut his arm open on a miter saw, and even though he had just recently been in the hospital, he and I really wanted to do the hike, and so actually he didn't go underneath the waterfalls, that's right, because he didn't want to risk getting infections. And then after the hike we hung out in our hammocks, found some awesome trees, and actually we both kind of fell asleep for probably 20 minutes or so and then hiked back on out. Once again, make sure you wear the right shoes. As you can see the jagged rocks, you'll break a toenail, break a toe, twist your ankle, so wear good hiking shoes. Lovely trees. And then here's the intersection if you have trouble finding the hike, but the coordinates are there. And after our long hike, we went off to J-Dogs to replenish our nutrients. There was a fire or something that day, so the sun was just glowing orange. It was just burning. And then we thought, you know what, why don't we just rest? And we went to the Century Theaters nearby and caught a movie. Well, here we are at... Oh, my mask just broke. Here we are at Cinemark. And we're going to see Unhinged. Wish you were here, David. The movie was okay. I wouldn't recommend Unhinged, but all in all, it was an awesome day. Thank you, JP. Great theater. Coke was great. Popcorn was great. I highly recommend Donut Falls. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Mais c'est trop tard maintenant. La décidé
So that was the video that Polar made. So you have the duration, you have all your stats, your heart rate zones, automatic laps, you can split it into laps, you can do just about anything with that data. It's really cool, and you can export it, you can share it with others, etc., etc. So for Garmin, pretty easy. We just go to Garmin Connect, and then if we just go to the daily summary, and here's your activity, 2.57 miles. We have the topographic map, just like Polar, and we can zoom in. We can hit play, and it plays the data for us. Not as fancy as Polar, but you know, still kind of fun. And if we scroll on down, elevation, pace, according to the plane method, shows you which watch you used. I was using the Darth Vader one. Total distance, elevation, heart rate, you name it, it's all there. Very, very cool. And it even shows badges. So I did the high ground badge that day because I recorded an activity with 500 feet or more. So very fun. I love the badges. And those are the stats.